7 races remaining in the championship chase. The top 7 drivers are separated by less than 150 points. Today, a star-studded field faces 400 miles at Kansas. Here is a look at the championship standings after the 25 points were deducted. Earnhardt was leading Kurt Busch by 13 points and now trails by 12. It's just 159 points from first to ninth. The maximum point gain possible in one race is 156. Here's our starting grid, 400 miles here at the Kansas Speedway today, with Joe Nemechek on the pole and the rookie Kasey Kahne looking for his first win outside of row 1.
Jeremy Mayfield on the inside finished 3rd here last year, and Jimmy Johnson always a contender on this type of track.
Bobby Labonte, who has struggled most of the season inside of row 3, next to Greg Biffle, who was 2nd by a nose on Saturday.
Ryan Newman won last year. He's also had 2 other second-place finishes, and Junior on the outside of row 4.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has, or rather Dale Jarrett rather, has struggled at this track. He starts next to Jamie McMurray.
Elliott Sadler, the winner at Texas, with a great car, and Ricky Rudd on the outside of row 6.
The rookie Brendan Gaughan, who almost stole one last week at Talladega, next to Scott Riggs.
We saw Matt Kenseth last year. Can he come back at Kansas this year? And Carl Edwards, a teammate of Kenseth, on the outside of row 8.
Jeff Burton in the 30 car driving for Richard Childress next to his former Roush Racing teammate Mark Martin, who runs good at these kinds of tracks.
And Terry Labonte, one of his better qualifying runs of the year. Todd Bodine, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series winner at California last year.
Kurt Busch is the series points leader right now. He starts back in row 11 next to Casey Mears.
Tony Stewart on the outside of row 12 going for that NASCAR Nextel Cup.
In row 13, Brian Vickers on the inside and the veteran Michael Waltrip on the outside.
We'll see Jeff Green, Sterling Marlin back in row 14.
Kevin Harvick, winless this season, winless since the Brickyard in 2003, and Jeff Gordon back in row 15.
And there we see on the inside of row 16, Bobby Hamilton Jr. runs very well on this type of racetrack, could come to the front.
Jimmy Spencer in row 17 next to Kyle Busch.
And check this out, on the outside of row 18, Rusty Wallace, who runs so well at this racetrack.
Scott Wimmer and Shane Meal, who got his win in the Truck Series just a couple of weeks ago. The last cars to get in on time. Here are the provisionals led by Kyle Petty. Mile-and-a-half racetrack here at Kansas City for 100 miles today. It is overcast. There is forecast. The forecast is for rain later today, so going green just slightly earlier than expected. Here's a look at the cars that failed to qualify. Mike Garvey, Carl Long, Morgan Shepherd, and Mike Wallace. And 3 cars will drop to the rear of the field because of engine changes. Sadler, Shelmerdine, and Stanton Barrett. They just got the 1 to go. Let's get the final stories from pit road, starting with Matt.
Bill, Jeremy Mayfield. He comes into Kansas 10th in the championship standings. Now he's already had 2 finishes of 35th or worse. So now for Jeremy, the game plan is simple. He has to win the final 7 races. Really put that Dodge out front. A new paint scheme this week, the Hemi colors. Now he has a track here at Kansas where he has some good success. He finished 3rd here last year. He's been top 5 all weekend during practice, and he finished 3rd here 1 year ago. To Marty.
Matt, Kansas is famous for its tornadoes, and the closest thing we've had to that this weekend, Joe Nemechek storming in here on Friday, claiming the pole position. Saturday, winning the Busch Series race. There's only one thing left for him to win, today's Cup race, and he said, you know what, I can do that. The car, very good, he told me before he got in. This is the team building momentum. Started on the pole last week at Talladega, finished 7th. Dave?
Marty, a driver right next to Joe Nemechek. Kasey Kahne is one who did not make the chase for the Nextel Cup, but he's got something to look forward to this year. After finishing 2nd 5 times, people expect Kasey Kahne to be in victory lane before the season's out. This morning in the garage area, when you asked the crew chiefs and other crew members who they thought was strong in today's race, time and again it came up, the 9 car. Look for Kasey Kahne to be strong today. He qualified 2nd for both events he was in at the track this weekend. Bill?
Pace car is off, 43, coming to get the green flag at the 4-year-old Kansas Speedway with 80,000 fans on their feet in the grandstands. Infield's been packed all weekend, and here we go, the chase is on. Trouble for the 40 car of Sterling Marlin, off the pace early.
Is that the 16 back there too, or?
No, that was the 72, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Dropping to the rear at the start. Nemechek into 3.
And Casey Kane, the 9 car, being pushed out to the outside, and NASCAR's starting to concentrate for debris on the front stretch.
And this will be a challenge to freeze this field. It's a clutch or transmission problem is what we're hearing on the 40 car Sterling Marlin coasting midway between turns 1 and 2. Dave, what do you got?
And guess what the yellow flag is related to? Those very parts being on the track. And there they are.
Ooh.
And Sterling Marlin may be the car that dropped him. He said, I think I have a clutch problem, guys.
Jamie McMurray took advantage of all those cars going down on the inside on that restart and jumped up around Ryan Newman.
You can pass on the outside on a restart, just not on the inside.
You watch the cars on the track and check in with Marty back in the garage.
We'll talk about not breaking a sweat. I don't even think you got used to the seat yet, did you, Sterling Marlin? What was that all about?
I don't know. You come into the green up back straightaway, and something felt weird. The radio to lead him, I said, something feels weird. And then it got okay in 3 and 4, and come the green in second gear with the mash gas, and it just went boom. So look, it tore the whole yoke off the gear, and I've never seen nothing like it. Been racing a long time, never seen anything like that. So just hate it. Hate for everybody on the Coors Light team, and keep your chin up, work hard. All I can say.
All right, I think that they'll be able to fix this and get him back out, but it's going to be a few laps down when he starts the race finally.
That's something you'd see at a drag race.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
He's talking about breaking the yoke off the rear gear in the back of the car.
And we saw Jeremy Mayfield around Joe Nemechek for the lead.
Dodges were awfully strong here in both practices, so
If the 9 and the 19 don't get caught up in something, that could be a big 1-2 finish for Evernham Motorsports today.
And another thing is, I found out yesterday when I was racing the Busch races, clean air means a lot. So I think if these Dodges get out front and they get that clean air, they're going to be gone.
And here the 9 car, Jeremy Mayfield, goes to the high side. That's not a real shot because he loves that outside groove.
Yes, he does.
At most racetracks. Now, I talked to Ray Evernham this morning, the owner of the 9 and 19 cars, and he said, we've had fast race cars the last couple of months. We haven't done a good job as a team putting the finishing touch on winning the races. That's what we've got to do.
They did a great job with Jeremy at Richmond, getting him to victory lane and getting him into the chase. Nemechek in second. Kane going high, you guys.
Yeah, you see, like I said, that outside groove was really good. There's a lot of racing room up there. Looks like he's going to make it work this time. Car normally, you know, unless you're on the inside and you just breathe off it like Nemechek did and give the guy the spot, but normally the guy on the outside could run in a little bit deeper into turn 1.
We saw Nemechek do that yesterday.
Matt Yoakum.
And Casey Kane telling crew chief Tommy Baldwin just how this race car is reacting early on. He says the car is a little tight on exit. The car was very loose during final practice, which Tommy said was great because this racetrack has a tendency, Bill, as you know, to tighten up as the laps continue on during the afternoon.
And that's a concern for everybody in the garage. And now on the track. You watch the ticker at the top of the screen. The names in black, highlighted in yellow, are the 10 drivers in the chase for the championship.
That was close.
And Ricky Rudd, that 21 car, thought about making it 3 wide and said, maybe not this early in the race. Later, yes, not now.
Ooh, look at Newman. He's underneath Bobby Labonte, and he just lost grip. He tried running under there. When you're really close to the other car, if you're on the bottom, there's a car up to the right side of you, you lose the air on your car, you lose the downforce, and you slide up like you saw Newman did on the 18 of Bobby Labonte.
And the same thing happened to 21 going in turn 1. With that car on the outside, he just couldn't drive it in there like he normally does.
And if you're smart and you're the guy on the outside, you won't give him that room. You'll drive right down on his door.
Here comes the 16 car, Greg Biffle, trying to take over the 3rd spot from Joe Nemechek. Started in 6th, did the 16.
Here's a good pack.
Yep. Same guys we were watching a few moments ago. Dale Jarrett on the inside in the brown and white 88.
Brendan Gaughan in 77, that yellow car on the outside of 88. Terrific run here this week. Last week finished 4th spot, his best finish ever in NASCAR Nextel Cup racing.
How confident do you think he is today, Brendan Gaughan?
Oh, he is pumped up. I talked to Shane Wilson, the crew chief, and that team is good to go.
They just needed that good finish. You know, you're talking about Casey Kane. You need that finish to give that team confidence. That's what those guys got. Matt?
Shane told me this morning, this is Brendan's kind of place, a big momentum type of racetrack that he is used to when he competed in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He knows what he needs to have as far as a feel, Wally, from the start of the run to the middle of the run to the end of the run. And he hasn't been able to do that this year. They feel like they're starting to hit on that type of feel that he needs.
That's what you got to do. Once you give a driver what he's looking for, it makes all the difference in the world, because all these guys are good drivers, but you've got to give them what they're looking for. And every driver is different. They all like different things in a race car.
Early problems for the 43 of Jeff Green. He's on pit road after starting 27.
So Ricky Rudd could not make that pass. He was faster than Bobby Labonte, but Bobby, his season has gone so badly. He said, look, I need a good run. I ain't letting nobody pass me.
And, you know, the thing is, we talk about the dirty air. You've got to be in clean air, and this is where the front of your cars really need to be working when in traffic.
Jeremy Mayfield leads. His teammate Casey Kane runs second at Kansas in the Banquet 400. At the Kansas Speedway, the sun trying to break through. 72 laps on the board. The 84 of Kyle Busch on pit road. Marty.
Yeah, the young rookie making one of his first NASCAR Nextel Cup starts, coming in with a tight race car. They did make a wedge adjustment trying to loosen that race car up for Kyle Busch.
Well, there's another fast race car right now. It's Mark Martin in that 6 car. He's another one that's just flying right now.
He just passed Elliott Sadler to take over the 4th position. And you're right. While I've been watching his times on the monitor, and he has been fast. Not quite as fast as Biffle, but fast.
Had the chance to spend some time with Mark in Batesville, Arkansas this week. And I'm telling you, he is so pumped up about being in the chase. He's actually talking about the chance that he might have a shot at the championship in the final 7 races. Just extremely excited about his chances and confident in his crew. The 84 coming back to pit road for a speeding penalty, and right behind him, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
And I tell you, Jimmy, there's not been, I don't think anyone's ever made a pit stop any more relieved than Jimmy Johnson is right now. Please fix this car.
Think it'll be 4 tires?
I think so, Dave.
Chad Knaus, the crew chief, asked him, can you go 5 more laps? And he said, no, it's getting ugly. He's referring, I believe, to the right front tire. Jimmy said it started feeling funny about 10 laps ago, and he did not want to be out there very much longer. Chad said, bring it in. They'll make a 4-tire change, air pressure adjustments for Jimmy. He'd been complaining that also that the car had been a little bit tight. Marty?
A little tight for leader Greg Biffle, but very happy with the chassis. Obviously fast at the end of that run. Great stop going so far. Half a pound out of both front tires, trying to loosen the car up for the 16 months. Same car you won Michigan with, Matt. Rusty
Wallace thought he felt something funny in one of the front tires, pitted. 4-tire change for Wallace.
Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 now comes to pit road. Marty.
Car getting tight for Jeremy Mayfield, tighter the longer he ran. They make an air pressure adjustment. Kenny Francis also told me Jeremy was taking it easy at the end of that run, trying to take care of the car, saving it for later in the race. We talked about how these Evernham cars want to close the deal today. The 19 car winning in Richmond a few weeks ago with a decent stop here.
We saw Jeremy, they've knocked that piece of tape or paper off the grill of that car, but that where the paper was located, that's taped up anyway. It was not blocking the air.
Mark Martin slows. He is now headed for his pit stall along pit road. Strong run for Mark so far, 7th as he heads to Marty.
Yeah, Bill, especially at the end of that run, strong for Mark Martin. His car started out very loose. Took a little while for it to come in, but when it did come in, he was one of the better cars at the end of that run. They make an air pressure adjustment, trying to tighten it up at at the beginning of that run. At the end of it, Mark said it's just about perfect. Good stop for the 6-month, and now it takes a long time for the left rear. Matt.
And Jeff Burton pulls the 30 car to a stop on his first stop back on lap 17. Took on 4 tires, no adjustments. You can see the adjustment taking place. We have a spin.
Ward Burton spun entering pit road.
He did a 360 and kept going.
Yes.
Great, that's a good job. What's that all about?
There's a 12 car, Ryan Newman on pit road. Dave?
Ryan Newman wants a wedge adjustment. The wrench gets turned. His car was tight. A lot going on in pit road. 4 tires for the 38 car of Elliott Sadler as well. The 0 car of Ward Burton. His brakes aren't working. He slid through his pit. Marty?
Loose end tied off for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Half pound to the right front tire, trying to fix that tied off condition, and a quick stop for the Bud guys.
Now here's what happened when Ward Burton was coming to pit road.
And as I said, he has no brakes, so he's trying to get slow, but he's just going too fast. And this actually does him a favor because it slows him down so he can get to his pits. But watch, if we follow this, Earnhardt Jr. comes in, and they're going to the same spot, and eventually Junior's going to run in the back of the 0. I hope it didn't do any damage to the 8 car.
It didn't look like it did any damage. I looked at Dale's car when he pulled out. It looks okay.
And that's one of the reasons Ward went through his stall, was because he has no brakes, and Earnhardt Jr. was giving him a shove. Matt.
Jeff Gordon calling and needing significant adjustments on the 24 car. He says the car is just so loose, absolutely no grip. The car nearly sideways entering turn 3. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart makes his way to his pit stall. We told you earlier, had a really loose race car on entry, but now he says at the end of this run, the car had gone to the tight side. You can see the wrench in the back window. Shaggy makes some adjustments with a track bar. Lux go on the left side. He's away.
Good pit stop. Meanwhile, as all these cars made pit stops, Kurt Busch, a 97 car, had taken over the lead, got the bonus points, Dave.
That's how you win championships, and he was the leader coming into this race today. They'll make a 4-tire change. They'll take a roundabout out of the car. Kurt's crew going to work on the left side now, trying to keep him under 14 or 13 seconds. It's a good stop for the 97 crew.
Oh, man, what a great pit stop. I tell you what, hopefully there's no loose lug nuts on that 97.
And look who's leading.
Casey Kane.
Yep.
He's feeling pretty good right about now, isn't he? Did not pit when everyone else did under an early caution.
But he's still out of sequence with these leaders. He needs a caution flag now to get back in sequence.
5 second-place finishes for the rookie out of Enumclaw, Washington. Still looking for his first win. Had a shot at making the chase for the Cup. Came up just a little bit short, but has really shown remarkable skills.
Unbelievable. Not remarkable, Bill. Unbelievable. What he's done as Rebecca's rookie challenger has been something we haven't seen in a long, long time. Of course, we have seen rookies win.
Right.
He hasn't, but race in and race out, he has been consistently up front.
If there was an award for best near misses, he'd have that wrapped up.
Now he's back up at the top of the racetrack. As his tires start getting a little bit warm, he moves up to find some grip.
And when he's running by himself, he can pretty much decide where he wants to be on the racetrack.
Yeah, he can hog it all.
So, after we cycle through pit stops, Casey Kane, the rookie from Washington, out front, still trying to find that elusive first Nextel Cup Series win. Will it come at Kansas? Laps on the board at the Kansas Speedway, the 30th race of the Nextel Cup season, the 4th race in the chase for the championship, and Greg Biffle, second here yesterday by a nose, out in front this afternoon. Greg Biffle leads, 181 laps. Working here at Kansas, let's take you through the field and start with Marty.
Yeah, Bill, this is a team starting to build some consistency with 4 top 11s in their last 7 races. Greg won, of course, at Michigan, driving that same exact car today. The chassis, very good. They just came on the radio and told him, though, we have to make 2 stops, cannot make it on just 1 more stop today. They just told Jeremy Mayfield on the radio in 2nd place, take care of your car. They, too, have to make 2 stops, a team that needs a very good run in the chase for the championship. 26-year-old Casey Mears having an excellent run. Jimmy Elliott just told me, we'll fall back right now. They're in the 3rd position, but we should get better the longer the run goes. The 88 car of Dale Jarrett having a terrific day. He has never finished a Kansas race. 3 DNFs, currently in the 4th position with a great chassis. Dave?
12 car of Ryan Newman. He is the tightest he's been all day, according to the driver. Crew Chief Matt Borland, radio back, will take a big step on balance on the next stop. Matt?
Casey Kane trying to knock down his first career win. He told Crew Chief Tommy Baldwin, I need the nose of the car to be a little more positive. Tommy told him, we have a set of scuffed tires, a set of tires they worked in a little bit during the final practice, waiting for you on our final stop, and we will fix that. Dave.
Ricky Rudd last stopped on the lap 140 debris caution. Restarted this time in 7th place after taking on 4 tires that last time. Hasn't really gone anywhere, but he's staying, he's maintaining that top 10 position. Marty?
Dave, Jamie McMurray's in the 8th position, driving his favorite race car, and currently his favorite race car is a little too loose for his liking. But all these teams start the car loose, they tend to get better. Same is the case for Jamie the longer they run. Matt?
And Tony Stewart, he's been quiet on the radio since his last stop. So Crew Chief Greg's he's not sure whether they have actually fixed their race car from their last adjustments, but Dave, he's running 9th.
Elliott Sadler restarted in the top 10 during this run. He is still in 10th position right now. His car was tight. They adjusted on it, got a little bit loose. It's gone tight again, so battling a little bit of the handling in the 38 car. Bill?
Greg Biffle continues to lead, Dave, and again, we will point out there are 3 different pit sequences working here. Some guys stopped around lap 131, 132, some around 143, and some around 154. So 3 different types of pit strategies playing themselves out here in Kansas. Back through the field to Marty.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 11th position. It wasn't too long ago. He was down a lap, got a lucky dog, got the lap back. They can pit at lap 201. They can make it on 1 more stop. Still too tight in the center for the 8 bunch, Matt.
Same scenario, Marty, for the 30th. Jeff Burton, 4 tires, no adjustments on his last stop. Back on lap 153. 13th here last year. Davies running 12th.
48 car of Jimmy Johnson. He radioed into his crew, whatever you guys did on those last stops has really helped a lot. What they did was make a series of air pressure and chassis adjustments designed to correct the situation for Jimmy, and it appears to be working. Matt?
Joe Nemechek, the pole sitter, 4 tires and fuel, no changes. Back on lap 153, he had the pit, went through the grass, no damage.
Kurt Busch brought out the last caution and described to his crew a condition he's found before on his car, according to Kurt. It just snapped loose on him. He said it's happened 2 or 3 times earlier this year, and I don't like it. Matt? Marty?
Dave just passed by his teammate Mark Martin, and Wally called it on the head. He's in 15th right now. Don't count him out. Remember, they ran over the brake rotor, lost both right side tires. Mark has not said a word about the car, but it's clearly very fast. Matt?
Jeff Gordon, 2 wins here at Kansas. He told me Saturday, this is the kind of place where you need to capitalize with this championship format. Places where you are strong, you can't afford to give up any points. He has battled back, Marty. He is currently in the 17th position.
Michael Waltrip behind him, Matt, in the 18th position. Dropped race car this weekend that he called wild earlier. Since then, the car's gotten a lot better. They've been battling a tight race car off of the corner for most of the day. Matt Kenseth came on the last stop, finally fixed that left front fender because smoke was starting to come into the car. They just can't get the front end to stop chattering, and he's loose off the corners. A lot of problems right now for the 17, Matty.
Bobby Labonte just needs something good to happen for he and his 18 team. They've been back and forth between loose and tight this afternoon. They pitted back on lap 154 for 4 tires.
Brother Terry now getting pressure from Brendan Gaughan. He's lost a couple of spots since the restart. They did stop for 4 tires on that last caution. Did not make any chassis adjustments. Matt?
Last car in the lead lap, Brendan Gaughan trying to work on a top 20. The car started tight as he just passes Terry Labonte, trying to make up more room at track position on this run. He says the car is tightening up a little bit, guys.
Well done, gentlemen. And I can tell you that's tough to do. That's a good job, especially here at this track. Greg Biffle last pitted on lap 131. How far can he go? When will he come in? Taking the green flag here at Kansas, 50 laps to go. Jamie McMurray is the leader, followed by Ricky Rudd, Elliott Sadler, Joe Nemechek, and Terry Labonte.
Here comes Rusty Wallace, that 2-car, a couple laps down, trying to get by the leader. Looks like he might, but that might open the door for the 21 car of Ricky Rudd.
And McMurray told his crew just a few moments ago that he believes the 21 is a little better race car right now than he is. Dave, how about that 21 car?
It's working great right now. Working great right now, guys. I'll get back to you in a minute.
Wow, a lot going on. Dave is on a mission.
That pretty much
McMurray
Dave
with a
just
little
blew us off.
Yeah, he did. Go back later. We'll just figure name other line. That is so much fun down there, working in the pits when you've got one story going and then you got another one that's on the air.
I thought you guys just sat around eating ice cream.
No, that's, and I now know that's what happens up here.
Right now, it looks like the 38 car of Elliott Sadler might get a little bit faster than any of them.
And this is how you try and stay in the championship chase. In the box, you can see the 48 crew trying to make repairs to that car so they can get as many points as possible, Marty.
Yeah, Bill, a lot of work to do to the front end of the 48 car. They have taken much of the front end of the car off. They did have an entire piece ready, entire front fascia ready to put on the 48 car, but Chad Canal said, we don't need that. Just cut the fenders off right now. Let's get as many laps as we can. Jimmy's still sitting in the race car quietly. This is a team that has finished 11th, 10th, and 37th in the first 3 chase races. They did not need this today.
And you talk about the guys in the chase for the championship. Jamie McMurray, the race leader, is also in that race for that 11th spot, which has a $1 million payoff in New York at the end of the season.
Kurt Busch, we see, have a 36-point lead on Earnhardt as they run. Busch is currently shown in 7th and Earnhardt back in 12th.
And Jeremy Mayfield has slipped to 278 points behind, but look at Johnson, 237, and Newman has had trouble.
Took a hit too, yeah. Pretty good race going on right here.
See, the battle for 11th spot we talked about. Jamie McMurray has right now a 137-point lead on Jarrett.
Casey Kane is running 18th, and his day was way up here. And now it's kind of like way down here. But we got 45 to go. Kurt Busch has not been an error-free day for him either.
Well, he spun over turn 2, about the same spot that Jimmy Johnson in the 48 spun, but luckily Kurt Busch avoided the wall.
The top 10 drivers running here did not pit under the last caution. Here's a mess. Jeremy Mayfield in the 19. Earnhardt in the 8.
Bill Jarrett, this is all for position right there,
Yes, it
too.
is. Brendan Gaughan in the 77 is 14th. Looking at the back of Mayfield. Thinking about 3 wide.
Yeah.
Now they're going 3 wide. Jimmy Spencer, the ball.
Yahoo. Brendan Gaughan really drove down in there pretty hard and got the spot.
He got a pretty good race car, the 77. He was the fastest car in happy hour, the last practice session yesterday morning.
And that 30 of Jeff Burton behind the 88 is also on the lead lap. Burton running 15th. There's Jeff. Talk about a guy that could use a good finish. McMurray still continues to lead. Take a look at your Little Debbie lap leaders.
Lit 72 laps. Biffle just 64 and Kane 39. We talked about Casey Kane such a good race car. Right now he's only in 16th position.
But Kane is one of the drivers that stopped to top off at 2:02.
And I think the bother stuff in the field now, those cars that stopped, is difficult. He's currently running in 9th position. Battle for the lead. Look at Ricky Rudd, the 21, go.
And he pull it up. No, 42 car goes in deeper. Normally, if you're on the high side, you can go in a little bit deeper. Now at 38, he gets in there. He's going to mess up the air. And yeah. Actually, 38 really helped push the 42 up there.
Sure did. By slowing up the 21, too, right?
Yeah. So, got the spot. Who's that? Nemechek. Nemechek back in the hunt there. Taking over the spot. 01, U.S. Army car takes 3rd spot.
The winner yesterday in the Busch race here at Kansas.
Also the fastest qualifier for this Banker 400.
Started on the pole. Dave, you got an update on Ricky Rudd?
Well, here's one of the reasons why he's charging so hard. A challenge from crew chief Fatback McSwain during the last caution. He said to his driver, remember back in '99 when you said, give me a smell and I'll do the rest? He said, you got a smell now. That was when they were going to restart second. I asked Michael what he was referring to, and he said, when he hired me back in '99. They had a good run together. They disbanded for a couple of years. Now they're back and trying to win their first race since getting back together following the Bristol race this year, guys.
Dave, thanks for taking the call, by the way. I got a feeling he was talking to Fatback when we were trying to tell him to get the story.
Man, look at how that 42 car, he was wiggling all through turns 1 and 2. Looked like he was on the verge of losing control, enough so that he lost the lead to the 38 car of Sadler. 2nd spot to Nemechek.
And here comes Rudd.
Yeah. He's going to catch his breath here for a minute.
Yeah.
New leader, Elliott Sadler, upside down at Talladega last week, on top of Kansas today. Marty.
Well, the reason that this car is loose, it's been loose for most of the day. They really haven't been able to tighten up like Jamie would like. That's why he's back and forth and lost lead. And another battle for the lead.
About it. Front row Joe to the front in the 01 car.
How about that? Going for the sweep at Kansas.
Oh, he gets a little bit loose and crosses over.
I'm liking this place more and more.
I'm telling you, turning into a very, very fun racetrack. He got loose. He slid up the racetrack. Elliott Sadler turned down underneath him, but hasn't completely pulled it off.
54 races since Nemechek has gone to victory.
Contact there, maybe?
Might have been a little bit.
23 lead changes, ties the record set here last year. And I don't think we're done.
Good racing right there.
Update on Elliott Sadler from Dave Burns.
I talked to crew chief Todd Parrott this morning about their race car. He said, we found something late in the final practice yesterday afternoon. The whole corner, we were tied in and loose off. We fixed both of them with what we found late in the day in happy hour yesterday. So far today, they've run in the top 10 almost all day long, guys.
Thank you, sir.
And Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car, has repairs made on the car. He's going back on the racetrack. There we see him going down pit road.
Jimmy is currently scored 31st. He is 5 laps behind Ward Burton and 12 laps behind Jeff Green. Possible points for the 48 to pick up. Only has 35 laps to do it.
And I don't think he's going to catch them on the racetrack and pass them. He's going to have to hope somebody goes out in front of him.
That's right. 18 laps down to the leader, Johnson is.
There's Kurt Busch, the 97. We've been watching this great battle for the lead. The 97, 16, they are coming. They're very fast, faster than the leaders right now. Dave Burns, what about this 97 car?
Well, they restarted 7th, so they've already picked up a couple of spots. And remember all the changes they've been making to that chassis as the day goes on. It always starts loose and gets tight. The last time they took a spring rubber out of the left rear, made an air pressure adjustment on both right side tires to try to get it good for Kurt. And he's as fast as he's been all day. Look at him. He was the fastest on that lap, guys.
Yes, he is. He's just Hooking that bottom.
But he last pitted on lap 198. And the question is, can they make it? Dave Byrne.
When I checked with crew chief Jimmy Fennick before we got all of these caution laps, he said we were close. So therefore, extrapolate that out, we should be good to go. What was that word?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Extrapolate. I'll explain it later.
More on the leader from Matt.
And they're waving the towels, cheering Joe Nemechek on, trying for the weekend sweep. And believe it or not, the car number 01 has never gone to victory lane, going all the way back to 1949. Joe is trying to save that right front tire because he knows this race is not over till lap 267. And these guys are coming up. He knows it. He can see him in the mirror.
Tell you what, Ricky Rudd's not saving his right front tire.
He goes.
He's going.
Takes over second spot from Elliott Sadler.
Ricky Rudd last pitted on lap 198. Can those guys make it? Can Nemechek hold on and sweep it?
Can you celebrate too much? Not when it's this big. Happy 100th birthday to Haviland. Add more life to your car.
Pace car is off. Waiting. Green flag is out. Good start by Elliott Sadler right on the bumper of Nemechek.
Again, you got to be careful you don't get wheel spin on these restarts because you've got some heat in the tire. So when you go to stand on the throttle, sometimes you get wheel spin.
And this time, Nemechek does not benefit from the Rudd incident.
Well, he's still got a pretty good restart,
Yes,
though.
he did. You're right.
White car this time, the 23 is Shane Neal.
And the guys that I think are really, really fast, like Kyle Busch and those guys, they still have some cars they have to pass, while Nemechek is in the lead and he's got open racetrack in front of him.
Meanwhile, Biffle, 16 car, is trying to get by Kurt Busch, and he does back there for that position. But again, I think you're right. Too little, too late. 12 laps to go, and a lot of lap cars in front of Biffle.
Yeah, he's going to have to get by these cars in a hurry to even run down Joe. And then he got to pass Joe. And then he got Elliott Sadler and Rudd up there, too.
And we know he can't ruffle Nemechek up as he gets to him because he's, as he told us yesterday, riding home with him this afternoon after the race.
Nemechek won here yesterday. A lap and a half ago in the Busch race, made contact with race leader Tony Stewart. Stewart ended up in the wall. Nemechek went on to win a green-white checker finish, beating Biffle by a nose.
And Nemechek now is pulling away from Elliott Sadler in the 38 car.
Started from the pole.
Last lap, the 01 car ran his fastest lap of the day. Last lap, Matt.
10 to go.
BP, when Joe Nemechek won yesterday's Busch Series race, it was the first time he'd gone to victory lane in that series since June of 2003. He hasn't gone to victory lane in this series since May of 2003. 54 races ago. The car just a tick on the tight side, trying to hold on for the victory.
If that car's a little bit tight, he's in the right spot. That's out front.
And that piece of cellophane or whatever it was is gone as well. Second place car is Elliott Sadler. Dave's been with him all day.
And he radioed on lap 236 way back a few laps ago, guys, that his car was too tight. So behind Nemechek, that's not a good condition.
And on the 16 of Greg Biffle, Marty Snyder.
The biggest problem for him, Bill, is the lap traffic. He was very upset trying to get through some of those lap cars. He has now cleared them, trying to track down Ricky Rudd. One problem for the 16 bunch, Greg saying the engine not performing as well as it was earlier in the race. The driver says the motor is laying down.
It is single file for the first 7 or 8, but there is a stack up behind him. Jimmy McMurray right in that pack with Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmy Spencer and Dale Jarrett. Not the day that the 8 bunch has been hoping for, although a top 10 here at Kansas they might consider pretty good.
Currently running the 8th position as Jarrett tries to get him by. Marty, about this 8 car.
Remember, BP, they took the 2 tires a while ago on lap 242, I believe it was. They went down on the track bar. Junior said that helped. That's about all we had right there, though. Car is starting to get too tight for Junior.
Less than 7 laps to go for Joe Nemechek. Sadler 1.1
Second place is going to get changed here. There he goes, Ricky Rudd, underneath Elliott Sadler in a 38 car.
What a terrific run today for Ricky Rudd.
And there's nothing Elliott can do. When your car's pushing like that, you're doing everything you can to not hit the wall. But there wasn't a whole lot he could do against Ricky Rudd.
And you know what? Ricky Rudd might have had a shot in winning this race today, but not for that contact going down in turn 1.
5.5 to go. That Rudd and Michael McSwain combination is working. Driver and crew chief reunited.
Give me something to smell, I think was the thing. Well, you know what? Smell the front.
Yeah, you know
that's what you're trying to do.
He can see the front too. Kurt Busch in the 97, Mayfield in the 19, a couple of contenders in the chase for the Cup.
And that's 5 points that Kurt Busch does not want to lose.
Ricky Rudd had the fastest lap last time, trying to run down Nemechek with under 5 to go. On the 19, Marty.
Key pit stop for those guys back on lap 242, Bill. They took 4 tires. Jeremy, before that stop, said Kenny, to his crew chief, Kenny Francis, this is the worst the car has been all day long. In 6th right now, trying to get 5th from Kurt Busch. Good call to come down pit road and make 4 tires and a chassis adjustment.
Hey, what? Ricky Rudd is flying right now.
4/10.
He's only a 6/10 of a second behind Nemechek. He is closing.
And when you're in second place and you're winding down and you can see the driver in front of you and you're catching him a little bit, let me tell you something. Your adrenaline starts pumping and you start driving that car harder than you've ever driven it before. And that's what Ricky's doing right now.
Black flag for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Too slow. Dave on the 21.
Let's see which move he makes, because before the green came out, his crew chief Fatback McSwain said the outside's been working really good for you. He passed the 38 on the inside. Maybe both are working.
3 to go.
And he's getting him. He's going to catch him. There's no question about it. If he's working good on the bottom, the best thing he can do is get the 01 of Joe Nemechek loose.
Rudd was faster last time. 0.2 of a second.
But as he gets closer to this 01 car, that aerodynamics will come into play.
And that will work for Joe, because that air that Joe's messing up right now is going to hurt the 21 car a little bit. That will make the 21 car not turn as well.
2 laps to go.
If he can get low, it looks like he's low enough. If he can stay there.
Nemechek.
If he can stay down there, he's going to get air on the car. Here he comes for the lead.
Just the opposite of the situation Nemechek was in yesterday. He was coming.
Whoa, Joe drives it down in really hard into turn 3. See if he can hold it. If he's got to get on the gas. He picks up the gas pretty good.
Coming out of turn 4. White flag this time.
This is good stuff right here.
Man, it is.
1.5 to go.
Now watch Joe. Joe should be able to drive it way in deep here. If the car doesn't slide up the racetrack too much, he'll be able to hold it, and they'll run side by side down the backstretch.
Joe Nemechek's story is well known. Lost his brother John in a Craftsman truck racing accident in Homestead when Joe was competing in Las Vegas. His family encouraged him to continue racing.
Oh, here comes Rudd. He's got to run, but Nemechek will mirror block him now.
Rudd is a veteran to the apron, but it's Nemechek with the win at Kansas.
That was a good race.
Man, terrific battle there at the end. Wow. Ryan Pemberton, you have won a race.
And Ryan won't be able to jump around and celebrate because he has a very bad back, a painful back. So Nemechek with the sweep.
It's good for the U.S. Army guys, isn't it? A lot of those guys are watching the race.
Be careful on him.
Pete Wright.
We talked about Peter a few weeks ago, right?
Alan's a card-carrying member of the Pete Wright fan club. Matt?
BP, he has finally made his way out of that mosh pit. Ryan, your first win as a crew chief, and boy, you couldn't ask for any more dramatic finish than that.
Man, I'm emotionally drained right this minute. All those cautions and running out of gas, and Almost. He's probably out of gas right now. I don't even think he can do a burnout. That's all. Man, Joe's been, he's been really on it. His team deserves, I really would have thought we'd had a win wrong before this. The way this team's been running, we just couldn't quite get those finishes, and here we put it all together, man. Great qualifying effort by Joe. Man, I can't say enough about this team. It's a lot of fun.
The last 2 years, this team has really gone through a lot.
Oh, man, I can't even express how much this team's gone through. And, you know, the whole being backed up by the Army here, I don't even know what to say. I'm all lost for words, you know. This is for all the troops.
And Ryan's brother Roman is a spotter for the 01 car.
This is going to be a popular victory on pit road. It really is.
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
This is his reaction as his car and his driver take the checkered flag.
That's why we work 60, 70 hours a week.
Joe Nemechek celebrates victory in Kansas, and Dave Burns is in victory lane with him.
And you know, it almost rained earlier. Now it's soaking down here in Victory Lane, but not with rain showers. Gatorade everywhere, and Joe Nemechek, just look at this. Talk about a happy bunch. Joe, getting a big hug from car owner Jay Fry. And Joe, tell us about that, the Kansas sweep for your team this year. Hey, John Hunter.
Oh my gosh, incredible day. Oh, what a day for the Army, Chevrolet, Valvoline, Centrex, Hendrick Motorsports, building our engines. Awesome. Rick, killer motor, man. Thank you very much.
Rick Hendrick stepping in to congratulate Joe as well. Talk about the emotions, Joe, now bringing this team to victory here at Kansas.
This is cool. The sweep at Kansas, who would ever figure? Oh, man, I'm so happy. I was trying to save gas there at the end, and I had them tighten it up that last run. I was a little bit too free most of the runs before that, and they got it tight, and I'm like, man, I'm a little bit too tight, but I drove to the lead. And they're like, save gas, save gas, save gas. And there at the end, I was trying to save gas, and here come Ricky Rudd out of nowhere. I was like, holy moly. And then I had to get back on it, and he got up beside me one time, and I wasn't going to let it happen. I come too close yesterday. This is just an incredible day. I just got to say thank you to all the troops overseas. Everyone, awesome. This is a cool experience for myself, representing the Army. Incredible. Thank you.
Joe, I see Andrea here, baby Kennedy, John Hunter. Where's Mom today?
Well, my daughter Blair, Mom was supposed to come up. She was going to try coming up on race day, and she didn't make it up. But they just got back from Florida. They've been and say hello, Mom, Dad, Grandpa, Marty's, Mark, all the nieces and nephews. Man, yeah, I wish you were here. This is incredible. Incredible.
How much of a factor did yesterday in making the car right for today, Joe?
Well, I think a lot of that definitely helped. You know, I got to thank my Busch crew, Gary Putnam. You know, we talked about a few of the things that I didn't like with my Army car last night.
That's good for a guy with a bad back, huh?
Yeah, that'll fix his back problems. But we talked about it. Ryan and I talked about it last night, and Gary Putman, my Busch crew chief, and him talked, and we changed quite a bit of stuff on the front end of this car to try and make it drive a little better. It was incredible. Incredible day.
Joe Nemechek goes to victory lane, breaking a 54 race drought, guys.
Here's a look at the unofficial results from the Banquet 400 at the Kansas Speedway. The drivers in yellow are the 10 men in the chase for the Cup. Elliott Sadler had the best finish of all of them, but Nemechek had the best day, coming home first.
How about Kurt Busch, the leader in the Nextel Cup, spins off turn 2. No one hits him. He comes back to finish 6th.
It's a big day for him.
Another good day for Brendan Gaughan.
I was just going to say, Brendan Gaughan, 10th.
Good job.
Jeff Gordon, 13th. Tony Stewart, 14th. Jeff Burton got himself a 15th place finish.
And Mark Martin, 20th place today with a really good race car.
Yeah, Mark struggled there at the end.
He really did. So the 20th spot today might have taken his chance for the Cup out of being
A reality.
a reality, yes.
Is that what he said?
I think so.
Here are two guys that had a difficult day, Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman. Hard hits.
Well, all those guys had a difficult day.
Yep. Including those three. After 30 of 36 races, Kurt Busch able to increase his lead to 29 points over Dale Earnhardt Jr. Again, Earnhardt Jr. is appealing the 25-point penalty handed out last week after Talladega.
Elliott Sadler up 4 spots.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson, the big story here, falling to 247 back. And here's the race for 11th. Jamie McMurray ran up front for quite a bit today.
He finishes in 7th position and now has 82-point lead over McMurray.